Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Rob, you just heard Monsi Bolaños say that James Harden is opting out of his contract with the Philadelphia 76ers, wants a 4-year deal. I get it. This might be his best chance to, add some more tens of millions, right? Maybe hundreds of millions to his contract. But, Rob, if I'm Daryl Morey, GM of the Sixers, bye. Bye. I mean, I'm trying to win a championship. Now, James Harden is still a very good player. He's still an all-star caliber player. I actually voted for him to be on the all-star team. I'm one of the official voters. I voted for him to make the all-star team. Led the league in assists. He's nice. But I'm trying. It doesn't seem like, for whatever reason, he delivers. Not seems like, he doesn't deliver in the big game. How do you be one of the all-time best scorers in league history and you get 9 points in the game 7? And you shoot some horrible percentage. I'll get it exactly because I knew it I don't want to say it off the top of my head without, But in the last 2 games, when they were up 3-2, he shot horrifically.
And he had 2 big games,
Rob,
Chris.
He shot
Imagine,
7 for 27 in the last 2 games.
Imagine had he capped off a game 7 with like the way he played in game 1 or what was it, game 5?
Yep. Don't let it be said that he hasn't had great playoff games, because he has. But when it's like deciding games, Rob, he was 1 for 11 from 3 in the last 2 games. He had 10 turnovers in the last 2 games.
He had more turnovers than a bakery.
Yeah, never heard that before.
No, not at all.
But I'm bye.
This is all original. This is all original material, Chris. I just want you to know. This is not stuff I used to do on the radio in Detroit. This is all new and fresh.
I know that. Who you are fake news. What team are you? If you're a contender, now there's talk about Phoenix. Would you want him in Phoenix?
I'm not interested. I'm not interested in James Harden. Plain and simple.
Yeah, and
Chris.
If he goes to Houston, Rob, I think it is such a bad look.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
And you're just confirming that if you go to Houston.
He doesn't care. He wants to have a lifestyle, make a ton of money, be the guy down in Houston again. He loved it, loved living there, and he'll just go back and ride out the sunset, Chris, and that's it. He gave it a shot, went to Brooklyn, didn't wait long enough to see if that would happen. Then he goes to Philly, and as soon as they moved the mountains to get him and did all the stuff that they did to get him from Brooklyn, and he's going to walk out on them. This is just these guys. This is what you get. If I'm Philly, I'm not interested, and if I'm a contender, I'm not interested. You want to go to Orlando, you want to go to Houston, you want to go to Detroit, where you want to go to those places, go. Just go. And if you want to just put up shots and be the leading scorer, just go.
Rob, the report, and what outlet was it, Rob G? The report that Chris Haynes says that Harden wants, quote unquote, basketball freedom. Now, if I'm Houston, I'm done. I'm turned off. Because you know who I want to have basketball freedom? Jalen Green.
Right.
Şengün.
Gesundheit.
I mean, no, I need my young boys to develop.
Right.
I don't need a guy that is on his way out in a few years that isn't going to lead me to, I don't need him to develop. I want you to focus on them. I want you to make them better. And if you're not willing to do that with Joel Embiid, then I don't need you. So I think Houston is just as foolish and just as ridiculous as Harden is for wanting a reunion.
I agree, but they think he's a star. He'll sell tickets. They'll have some buzz. People will care about them. Chris, they're in NBA Siberia. They're off the map. You know that. They got young players. Every once in a while, they surprise you with a big win, but nobody's talking about the Rockets or anybody care about them. That's really what it comes down to. You notice in a small box, it's still a business, and you're trying to attract people, trying to sell it. You're not, the goal, Chris, is not always. Well, if we can't put together a winning team, let's put together a ragamuffin team no. Then I need to put something together where I could sell tickets and get people interested in the product. That's.
I hear you.
That's what happens.
I'm just saying, like, I got young players. They're not like I don't know. I'm trying to think. I can't think of a team off the top of my head. But if I'm just like Washington, right? I could understand Washington going to get James Harden, because Washington's one of those mediocre teams. It's always mediocre. And you bring in James Harden, he's going to put up numbers. He's going to excite the crowd. You'll be relevant to some degree. I could get that. But if Houston is building, Jabari Smith may become something. Jalen Green looks like something. Alperen Şengün. Kevin Porter Jr.
You just like saying that name. There you go. You rub it
no,
into.
I mean, he's pretty good, actually. So I'm just saying, like, I'm sorry, Houston. I don't know what y'all doing if you do this. You're making.
And James Harden, I mean, the same thing, Chris. I mean, maybe he feels like there'll be somebody who will be bamboozled and pay him, and that's what he'll do, and so he's cool with it. But I'm with you. Like, even at the young teams, Chris, that have money, James Harden doesn't fit. Like just let the younger guys play and develop. If you're not going to win, to have them taking shots from some guys who need the reps, and the notion of taking some big shots in moments, and not just filling stat sheets. That's how you develop players.
You know who I'd go get, Rob, and we're going to move on to the Warriors in a moment, but I'd go get Chris Paul. Because he's not going to take shots from those guys. He's going to teach those guys about being a professional, about winning to some degree, and he's going to set them up to be better players. That's
I can see that.
And he's cheaper.
Right.
You can get him and pay him about $15-16 million. He'll be cheaper than
and
James
you'll be
Harden.
able to get him on the early bird special because, he's a senior in the NBA.
Okay, on that note, let's move on. Speaking of seniors, Rob, the Warriors looks like they are. It just all indications are that they're going to bring back Klay Thompson and Draymond Green.
Yeah, but
here's
Klay
what I want to
ask you, Max.
Nah, yeah, he and Draymond would. They're gonna get $25-30 million a year, but they gonna those will be pay cuts or not max salaries. And if they go for it, or even just let me ask you, period, do you think that the Warriors championship window is closed?
Yeah, it's already closed. I believe it's closed. I think there's been some real damage done to that team. Guys are older. You saw Klay, Chris.
He had a good season. Led the league in threes made, but I know in the playoffs,
in the playoffs
against the Lakers mainly. But he had a couple bad. He was up and down, and then was just down against the Lakers. Yeah, the last.
He was bad. Couldn't make any shots. At least that's my last view of him. You know what I mean?
Look, last 4 games, Rob, he shot 25%.
There you go.
Averaged 10 points. Yeah.
But there you go. That's what I remember seeing. And Draymond is Draymond, and I heard Steve Kerr, and we're not a championship team without Draymond. You're not a championship team with him.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm
talking about this year. And Draymond, I would just I would just move on. It's okay. Great teams, great players move on. You don't have to stay together forever. And I don't know. I do think, the Jordan Poole thing was big for this team. And I do think, I know.
And they admitted it. Draymond and Steve Kerr admitted it.
Yeah, Chris, you can't get past that. I'm
here's
serious.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying you can't get past it. If that happened to me, how could I ever think about that guy in a glowing way? I can't.
If you just sucker punched Rob G one day, it'd be tough to overcome.
Rob G would be at my throat every day. I'd have to watch my back.
At your
Rob G?
throat is right, because on his tippy toes, raising his hands as high as he can. That's about how high he get. I'm getting laughs. I'm not the comedian.
Wow. Wait till I come to Brooklyn and bring down the house.
Rob,
Wait.
let us know. We
I'm
ready,
June.
baby.
I'm coming in June. I'm
We
coming
wanna
in
know.
June.
You know what I want to do? We got to talk to see if we can do it. I want to do an Odd Couple show from there if we can live.
Yeah, we could.
Wouldn't that be
When
cool?
I'm in town
We
that
set
weekend
it up.
of
Yep.
June, I think I told you I'm speaking at the New York Times School, Chris, this summer.
Yes.
In June, Harvey Ariden runs it. He's one of the people who run the school. So I will be in town for that. That's the perfect week to do it. Late June.
275 Park in Brooklyn Comedy Club. But anyway,
Chris, the only way we're doing that is if you also agree to do a home and home where we do one at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas for me and Rob Parker.
You just want to get to Vegas.
Well, it's not fair that we got to fly out to Jersey to do a show with
New
you.
York,
but
not Jersey,
You can't
New
fly
York.
out to Vegas with us, right, Rob?
Exactly.
Oh, I'm down. I'm down.
Me, you,
Well-
Lamar Mitchell, Rob, Chris, Alex will come. Everyone's going to
And
be
you
there.
better come to the birthday party next January in Vegas. That's the one.
Oh, I thought your birthday party was going to be in New York.
No. It's in Vegas.
You didn't get to save
yeah.
the date, remember, Chris? We all got one.
Yes. You
I don't know if I got
invited.
invited. I'm glad I'm invited.
Oh, look
I'm
at this.
roasting. I'm actually
You're
roasting you, right?
You're going to be
Oh,
up on
you-
the yes,
I'm a
on
roast
the
you.
dais. Yes.
No,
you are one of the official
I will
roasters.
be there. Yes, I will be there for sure. I won't miss that. But Rob, I'm gonna say this: I don't think the window's closed. Now, I'm not saying they're definitely gonna win another championship, but I think they're gonna be contenders. And assuming that they bring back Klay and Draymond, they just need to build correctly around them. I would love to keep obviously Wiggins, but Kevon Looney, that dude is a beast, great rebounder. But they need to add size. It doesn't have to be great size, but just another big body to back up Looney. And Rob, I would trade. I agree with you on the Poole Draymond thing.
I'm serious, right?
I would
It's just
trade
time.
Poole. Yeah, I would trade Poole. I think you can get something for him. People talk about this look, dude can score. And dude is a very good offensive
It's
player.
just
He
not
would
going to
go
work
somewhere and
together,
average,
Chris.
right.
It's just not going to work together.
He'll go somewhere and average 20 plus points. And so trade him for some role players and that bolster your bench. Develop Kuminga, maybe get him in the rotation next year. Look, I'm not saying they definitely gonna win the championship, but I think they will definitely be contenders and in the hunt. And the West still will be wide open. I mean, unless the only way, Rob, and I mean, maybe this wouldn't even be the case, but if Denver runs through the Lakers and then runs through whoever emerges from the East, then you now have a definitive Western Conference favorite.
Right, and they're young. They're not going anywhere. Right. But still.
Outside of that, right, it's kind of open. I mean, the Lakers will be there. Phoenix will be there. Maybe the Clippers, Sacramento. You know what I mean? Memphis.
Right.
Maybe. We don't know what's going to happen with them and Ja Morant. But so, I think they're still a contender.